Sawadee welcome and nice to have you here again for the Funkit and Media Friday. It's Friday, time to talk about the media, of course, and as always, don't forget, just because you don't see it in the news anymore, to check what's happening in Gaza, in Israel, in Myanmar. There are so many hot points, hot topics, hot things that are happening right now out there in the world. While I'm looking up there, there's something hot happening too. It's my cat jumping onto my wardrobe. Snooze, I've been serious here while you're doing this. I hope you're happy up there right now. So my cat is happy up there, so let's do this one more time. So don't forget to check the hot topics or the hot places, developments. Just because it's not in the media, we talked about this the last weeks and months. Just because it's not in the media on videos doesn't mean it's not happening anymore. So check what's happening in Myanmar. It's a hashtag, what's happening in Myanmar, what's happening in Thailand, Gaza, Israel, and so on. Don't be satisfied by only what you see in the daily news. All right. Speaking of what you see in the daily news, this past week for a few hours you didn't see much in daily news, especially if you consume your daily news via the internet. The internet was down, or big parts of the internet were down. Reddit, for example. Oh no, so you did not read it on the internet because it was down. This is crazy. It's crazy, right? Just because like one cloud service provider struggles with whatever, huge parts of the internet just not accessible. This shows you how easy it all could be gone, right? And what do we do then? If it's all gone, like what do we do then? Crazy. I found this, I say it one time, crazy, but also creepy. It's scary, isn't it? Whew. Luckily, YouTube and wherever you get those podcasts, unless it's Reddit, still available, still accessible during that time. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast, of course. All right, let's jump right into the hard-hitting, tough topics, questions that need to be asked this week in the media. And since I already mentioned Myanmar and so on, I also want to quickly mention the place where this podcast is happening, Thailand. Thailand, if you don't know much about Thailand, just Google Thailand. Very famous for having rather strict laws when it comes to... now I don't want to lose my visa. When it comes to how much you can say in the media. And there are new laws now being proposed or thought of, and there's like a committee now, I believe, that is set to study laws in other countries in regards to how other countries are dealing with media. And I don't want to call it censorship because it might get me in trouble. So in media regulation, let's call it media regulation. So apparently they want to, and they say apparently they want to look into like how to regulate online content again. There's an online newspaper here in Thailand called Thai Inquirer, for example. They had a very powerful article out there saying like the Thai government is trying to create laws to censor us and so on. That's what they said, not what I would say on this very happy podcast YouTube channel, of course. But that's what they say. And apparently that's just something that Thailand is looking into right now, like how could they regulate social media content, online content more than they already do. So it's like, while you thought it's going forwards into like democracy, it's now maybe taking a step back again, but we have to wait and see what's happening there, of course. So it's all allegedly and according to third-party sources. I'm not making anything up here. Check it out in the Thai Inquirer and so on. All right, let's move into other countries and other things that are happening around the world, because then I can speak more freely and I can just make stuff up. I'm not making stuff up; it's all backed by sources, so I'm just kidding, right? But I read an interesting article. This then made me connected to some other things that I read this week. So I read an article that said Nigeria. Sounds random, but stick with it for a second. Nigeria, and I quote, demands social media firms get local license. And I'm like, okay, interesting. Lots of countries now, however, try to do this, right? Because it's been in the news that like social media companies, tech companies, and so on, they register somewhere and then they pay tax somewhere, but then they don't pay tax in other countries where they are also providing services and making money. For example, Facebook, I think they pay in Ireland. So in Ireland is the only country in Europe that gets Facebook money, even though Facebook makes money in other countries in Europe, right? This is, of course, also a global thing. And so now other countries, so not only Nigeria in this case, but like other countries in Europe, around the world, they are now trying to figure out how can we also get money. Plus, for example, also Facebook, I think the example was they're making like $11.8 billion profit per year in Europe, but they only pay like $1.8 million in tax or something like this, or let it be euro, whatever. So which apparently is like 0 point something percent. So now countries all across the world try to figure out, can we have like a global tax or something, so that in every country where this service is happening, example Facebook, other services as well, where those services happening, that they have to pay tax everywhere they are making money. So this is more evenly distributed. So that's, I believe, will be a very interesting discussion, because then maybe they would pay less in Ireland, but then maybe more overall, like on a global scale. So this would be better for other countries. Maybe this one country where they're paying right now would suffer a little bit there. So let's see also where this goes, what's playing out there. And if you are a tax specialist or a law enforcement and law specialist, please do let me know what exactly is happening there, what your thoughts are, and so on, because obviously I'm not a tax specialist here, but I think that's how I understood it, and that's like kind of what is happening right now. I'm sure all those services like Facebook and so on, they try to find a way to wiggle their way out there. Let's see if they'll find one. Yeah, this is all a big circus, and speaking of big circuses, okay, that was not a smooth transition, it's too obvious. Headline on, I think, the South China Morning Post: the media circus around China's famous wandering elephants ignores the habitat loss driving the animals, say critics. And I add this to my Media Friday thingy here on the Funkit Pod for one simple reason. Yeah, you've probably seen the pictures of like those traveling elephants that travel through China, and then they're lying all together, just resting, like looking happy, which is very cute, and it's a very pretty picture. But it shows that what the media is highlighting again. The media is like, hey, look, hey, cute, clicks, likes, and so on. But they are not going down the truth, which is, why do those elephants have to travel so far? Because they're losing habitat. There is no space for them, and they have to walk further and further and travel further and go through all the stress and so on, which is definitely not good for them, right? So, but that's nothing that the media is willing to highlight, especially probably allegedly. That's the right word I'm looking for, in China, where you might run into trouble if you're criticizing you know who and you know what. So media, again, what is then you would assume maybe at least media not based in China would be more open to criticize what's happening and look more into detail. But then again, those details are boring. There are no rockets, there are no oils, there's nothing that triggers. So why would I spend money on an article that goes down the road saying like, hey, they're losing habitat because of this. No one wants to see that. People want to see happy elephants. So you're going like, here, look, show them happy elephants, right? So show them happy elephants. Everything's going to be awesome. Media, it's terrible. Change. We need change. Speaking of terrible media, this is just a fantastic example of what's wrong with social media and so on. Have you heard the news this past week that, I forgot her name and I didn't write it down. An Insta model, a French Insta model. She pretended to fly business class, took a picture in business class, uploaded to IG, like, hey, yeah, business class too. Then she went back to coach because she was flying coach, and some person who knew her from Instagram said, hey, look, she's flying coach. She just took a picture over there in business class, but actually she's sitting here in coach with me, and it was huge backlash and like ridicule and so on. A few days later, she took a picture in business class again, like, hey, mother, like insulting the people, saying like, here, I paid for this one and so on. Doesn't matter. It does not matter at all whether or not that lady flies business class economy, and I don't even care how she makes her money, which is most likely not by only modeling in front on Instagram, but it does not matter, allegedly. But it does not matter. Why does it matter, or why do people care about it? Is the bigger question. Yeah, she fakes the business class, or why does she even have to fake it? Because people care. Why do people care about this BS is the question. You can already see in what mood I am today. Why does anybody care about how a random lady from France travels from Dubai to Monaco, to Monte Carlo? Very dubious, like very questionable route, by the way. Just saying. But why would anyone care about this, right? It just shows perfectly what's wrong with social media, the world right now. Stop it. But hey, since we're already going down the road of like what's wrong with the media, let's just keep going. Yes, I'm all in on this topic right now. I plan to talk about it later, but let's talk about it right now. NFTs, I'm talking about blockchain and so on every week because I'm fascinated by it. And of course, NFTs, I'm also fascinated by this because this is, even so I'm a tech person, new media, a researcher and so on, NFTs. Last week we talked about the chicken wings for like several $100,000, or however much that was. It was a BTS menu, right? Okay, quickly. This week in the news, in Indonesia, they started those BTS, the band BTS menus like McDonald's. The people were storming McDonald's. They had to close McDonald's restaurants because there were too many people and they couldn't handle it. That's also part of the media, of course, like the way the media pushes those idols and promotes them and so on, right? Insanity. Anyways, back to, hey, BTS. I was about to say I hate K-pop. I hate all those pop bands that just playing roles. Or maybe we should have like a whole podcast. We will have a whole podcast on like those role playing, how this works, why this works, and so on. Promise, we're gonna do this one. Yeah, so that's just so annoying. And while I was wanting to hate him, I thought like, but Lisa is cute though. More on this. We're gonna have a podcast focusing only on roles in pop industry, or so we're gonna do this one. Example, K-pop, and then I'm gonna get canceled by all the K-pop stands. Yes, 50 minutes of fame. But that's a different topic. So anyways, McDonald's in Indonesia and Jakarta had to close certain restaurants because they couldn't handle the amount of people coming there. Insanity. All right, back to the NFT insanity though. Last week, crypto took a dive again. Of course it did because it was recovering before, so it's going to have to take a dive again. Big headlines everywhere. NFT market is collapsing. Who would have seen that coming? Oh no. Just a heads up, NFT market did not collapse. But of course, it didn't grow as fast anymore, obviously, right? With crypto is tanking, so is NFTs kind of course. I mean, it's based on the blockchain thing, Ethereum, and so on. But we did see some more purchases this week. So much for the crypto. The NFT market has collapsed. The CryptoPunks are like this series of pixelated avatars, and the CryptoPunk alien, the NFT for that CryptoPunk alien, sold for $11.8 million at Sotheby's. So it's dead, yeah, it's dead. NFT market has collapsed. All right, sure. Tell me about it. The buyer was the Israeli entrepreneur Shalom McKenzie, who is the largest shareholder of digital sports company DraftKings. That's what Sotheby's published officially. So DraftKings is behind lots of those apparently NFT buys there. Speaking of NFTs, there's a company called Mythical Games, and they raised, and let me check my notes, $75 million to speed up NFT gaming. And I think that's interesting because I thought until now, NFTs, yeah, kind of scammy. But I mean, supply and demand, so do whatever, right? But apparently in this game, as you walk through the game, you can then obtain playable NFTs. So your character, you can then probably trade your avatar, trade like stuff that you use, I'm assuming, which is rather interesting. This is an actual NFTs in the game that have actual monetary value. So this should be rather interesting. What's also interesting, and it's my last NFT news here, I think, for today, Paris Hilton. Yeah, I'm saying Paris Hilton in NFT context. And I check my notes again just to make sure I don't mix it up. But Paris Hilton becomes an NFT advisor. And I can't even finish that sentence. So a lot of celebrities now already left the NFT space again because it was crashing down the last few weeks. She's now all in. Paris Hilton is all in. And according to a blog post by Origin, the company that Paris Hilton has joined, they said she is joining as investor and advisor, seeking to provide her expertise on how to cater to the upper echelons of society. Isn't it just like, it's expensive, buy it, yay! I thought that's how you cater to this upper echelon of society. But okay, good for Paris Hilton. She can add now NFT investor and advisor to her LinkedIn. Accept your LinkedIn, Paris. All right, since we're already in that's enough NFTs for a week. I think it's enough to process right now. But since we're already at the topic, let's just finish this topic. Blockchain. And again, right now it's tanking again a little and it goes up again a little. So I'm still in there. I'm still in there for the long run, of course, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and so on. But what's interesting right now, if you're into cryptocurrency, you will have seen that on your social media profile. There are lots of ads by the one and only official Chinese government cryptocurrency, the electronic yen or something like this, yuan, which is of course BS. Report those ads on Facebook, Instagram, and so on, because it's BS. If there's Jack Ma on there or Elon Musk knows. No. But China, Beijing, they do have a plan for blockchain supremacy. So I wrote it down again. So they said China's MIT and CAC published a plan this week to create an advanced blockchain industrial system. So they do have government-powered ideas of how to make the blockchain faster. And well, as you know, the blockchain is being used in China for like a wide variety of fields, such as smart city government and so on. I don't want to say spy on people, but so they're very interested in pushing this forward, making it faster and so on, which is interesting because of course they're not the biggest fans of cryptocurrency until they launched their own one, of course, their own Chinese cryptocurrency, the official launch. But they see that blockchain is the future. So even a country that says, hey, we don't want this mining and all those things for cryptocurrency, they still believe in the blockchain, which just shows you the blockchain, the idea of blockchain is here to stay. So that's, I think, an important takeaway here. All right, but enough of crypto and blockchain for a week, I think. Let's wait until it recovers a bit more and then we can celebrate again. Or until there are more shitcoins coming out. I have one more thing to say about it, but it comes at the very end. All right. I saw an interview with the head of whatever from Instagram, and he had a few insights, and I took down a few notes. So I apologize if it sounds like a bit rehearsed right now, but I just jotted them down because I didn't want to miss them. So one of the things he said was, Instagram can guarantee stable reach due to constant changes in the algorithm. All right, well, that's just like with Google, so okay. So as more people join, right, you have to change the algorithm and so on. He says in terms of best practices, leaning into video is a good idea. Hey, all right, but now it's confirmed by an official IG guy. So the first 2 seconds are the most important to actually reel people in. Reel people in. Then he says the global rollout of Reels has been delayed due to music licensing issues in some regions. Okay, interesting. That was what we thought, but hey, it confirmed it. He says verification on IG is about providing identification for people who are more likely to deal with impersonation, and verification is normally assessed based on press mentions and so on. They say they're also looking to do more on direct payments for creators. All right. So more monetization possibilities for creators as well as for IG, of course. They say they also look into new revenue share models for video, also including monetization for Reels. No. He says, don't buy fake followers. They have a good algorithm. They see that you have fake followers that will only hurt you. And he says they're working on a way to maybe, hopefully, address systemic bias and abuse on the platform, but didn't really say much on like how exactly they're doing it. But that's a few nice insights from IG themselves. Nothing mind-blowing, but there's still nice confirmations of what we all assumed already. Speaking of, let's stay in the social media realm for now. Social media. LinkedIn has a new amazing feature that will revolutionize social networking. It's a dark mode on the desktop app. Yes, LinkedIn. Mind blown. Congratulations, LinkedIn. How about a round of applause? Standing away. Yay, great news, LinkedIn, great news. Congratulations, you arrived in 2016. Nice. Lots of spam these days also LinkedIn, by the way, because everyone can afford now like those marketing messages. Really annoying. Maybe there should be a new social professional network. But since we're already in the sphere, Facebook published a report on the future opportunities of AR and VR, and they said they expect that by 2023, which is in 2 years, it sounds like far away in the future, it's 2 years from now, that they expect like a huge increase in adoption for AR and VR, and they think that by 2023 the budget will have grown exponentially and lots of major players will be in that space by then. So Facebook predicts that. Well, they have to, because they bought Oculus like back then. But I think maybe Facebook is pushing the development there now also further, which should be interesting. All right, let's finish the social media frenzy with obviously TikTok. TikTok still the top position for the monthly app downloads. Well, congratulations! It's not cryptocurrency anymore. It's back to old school TikTok, basically the app that dominated the last year or so. They also now realized, hey, we're not that famous in Europe yet. We want to increase the fame in Europe. Let's become sponsors or advertising partners for the Euro. So they're now also on board with the European Championship football, not soccer, football, the European Championships as one of the sponsors on there. So expect more TikTok specials, filters, whatnot popping up during the European Championships that I will not be following because, quite frankly, we don't have that much of a chance this year, I believe. But let's see. May the best team win, as long as it's not France. Sorry, France. All right. You might have seen it. Apparently Anonymous, came up with a video warning Elon Musk, saying, Elon, we're watching you. You're playing with the livelihood of like innocent people and so on, and you're just a jerk and so on. So, and we have information on you that your family owned like mines in somewhere in Africa and so on. So yeah, be careful. And Elon Musk, of course, was scared. He tweeted on Twitter, not even a good fake Anonymous. The article is behind a paywall. When you click on the article that they use as a source, and it looks like Anonymous hacking skills are not enough to get behind it. And then he posted like this meme of like this hacker in a Starbucks, and like hackers in movies be like, I'm in. Yeah. I mean, what else is he supposed to do? Is he going to say like, oh no, I'm scared, Anonymous, I'm going to be a good guy now? No, it's not. I have to agree with Anonymous to some extent. It's getting really annoying what Elon Musk is doing, the trolling and so on, the emojis and blah, 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 and just trying to manipulate basically the whole market. Then again, if I were Elon Musk and I would realize that everyone listens to everything I say and pays so much attention to everything I say all the time, and they base their buying decisions on what I'm saying, I would also, fuck with all of them. I would be like, you idiots, look. Or I would tell like my wife Grimes or something, I would be, hey, look, I'm gonna tweet those two emojis. They all gonna go crazy. And she says, but maybe just add like this splash emoji too. Let's see what they're gonna do with it. And then they maybe just sit there looking at their screens and be like, haha. I would, to be quite fair, to be honest, I would totally do it. If I would have that much influence, I would do that. So I do understand Elon Musk, but Elon, enough is enough. Maybe move on to something else now. Maybe move on to be in space before Jeff Bezos goes to space, which is apparently in a month or two. I can see Jeff Bezos. What's it called? No, not Virgin. That's like Richard Branson. I don't know. The Amazon rocket goes up. Blue Origin. The one that looks like a dick. I can say that here in the podcast. The one that it goes up and then just Elon swipes in from somewhere and just overtakes Jeff Bezos or something like this. Let's see. All right. So we started with some news from Thailand. I'm almost finishing with some news from Thailand as well. So this is something that happened in the media, social media, picked it up and so on. And this is something that I'm happy about, that the media paid attention to this. So here right now, vaccination started in Thailand, right? And there's still some priority lists. So frontline workers or people that are just in touch with lots of people, working with the public, they get preferential treatment, like motorcycle taxi drivers. So you're on the back of a motorcycle, they drive you around, right? They wear like orange vests to show, hey, I'm a motorcycle taxi driver, you can ride with me, I have a license, and so on. Now, some upper class Thai rich people, they bought those vests so they can act like they're motorcycle drivers, so they can get vaccines before everybody else. And of course, that came out because you can see you're not a motorcycle driver, you're wearing Versace shoes or something like this, right? What the hell? And now all of Thai social media is like all over those people, ridiculing them, making fun of them, and so on. Especially since there are vaccination trips being offered. So you can buy a plane ticket to the US, you get vaccinated there, stay there for 2 weeks, then come back, or things like this. So lots of rich Thai people are doing this, but those upper class ones, maybe they can't afford 2 weeks in the US or something like this, so then they try to do something like that, and it did not work out, and it's rather funny to see what's happening there. It's not funny that they're trying, but it's funny that they got caught, of course, which is nice. One thing that is not nice is like if you know Thailand or Southeast Asia, you see all the protests here in Myanmar and so on. When there are protests, then protesters always use the Hunger Games sign, the three-finger salute, right? Based on like the French Revolution and so on. And now the salute is being used by anti-vaxxers in the US to protest vaccinations, which shows, yes, US anti-vaxxers, you know exactly how it is to be like on the wrong end of the government, to fight oppression. Yeah, you got it. You got it. So we're all with you. We're fighting. We're like brothers in arms, basically. Idiots. And the last thing I want to mention today is, which was kind of funny, kind of sad. Lordy came out with a new song, Solar Power. It's very Lord, right? You can be my queen bee, Lord, right? Okay. So she came out with a new, I think a whole new album, but like the song just dropped, Solar Power, kind of cool, kind of sunny. She thinks she's like I'm like a prettier Jesus. Great lyrics in there. Don't add me. That's what she said. That's what she's. Anyway, so the cover is like, or the cover of the song, and I think also of the album probably, is like a picture from her running over grass from down below. You can see just her butt crack, basically. But it's not naked. It's just in tight leggings or something. So you can just, she's basically running over the camera, and the shutter goes when she's like, when you can see her butt. But nothing super sexy or anything. Then I think it's the Chinese, Indian, and a few other countries censored that, and then it's just like the sun basically like coming all over, or like coming, the sun is behind her, right? So, but then you can just see the sun basically coming around her butt, so that you cannot see the butt on the picture, but just the sun, not the butt, but the sun. and it's not a sexual picture at all, actually. So very interesting to see like which countries have chosen. You can see a list online, I guess Pakistan and so on, probably too. Which countries have chosen to censor Lordy's butt. Lord's butt. I wonder what Lord has to say about this. Let me know what you think about this. Is it necessary to censor someone's butt? That's not naked or anything sexual in this case. Let me know what you think. What do you think about butts on pictures in the news, on the media, music videos? Should there be butts? Should we have more butts in the media, less butts? Let me know what you think about all the other things that we discussed. How much do you spend for NFTs? How's your cryptocurrency going? I know, how famous are you on Instagram? And so on. Let me know via social media, comments, or even email funkitpod@gmail.com. Until then, that's it. Take care. Stay safe. I'll see you next time.